All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's video is exactly about what it says in the title. I lost 15 pounds in just over a month. That's a lot of body weight, but I really want to explain how I've been nervous to make this video all day because I feel as though the nutrition and diet culture that we have currently in this fitness meta is kind of toxic, and I'm not really prepared to handle it, and I don't really care to handle that. So I think the lifting culture is also just as toxic, but I feel like I can stand my own there. Like I have the results in myself, and I have the results in the people that I've coached over the years, and the people that I've talked to via the internet over the years. Like I have those results for sure. But in this diet and nutrition culture thing, it's something I'm not really interested in taking the smoke of, if that makes sense. But I'm going to make this video anyways, and I'm going to explain how I did these things, and there might be certain things you can take from it, but I would love to give you a big disclaimer before I move forward. Don't do what I'm about to say. If you do, it's not my problem. I can say you can take some of the general ideas that I have here, and I think they could be beneficial to you. But I am different than you for the most part. Some of you I might be very similar to. So please be a good, use your best judgment with the advice that I'm about to give you. I am sponsored by Transparent Labs, so I'm going to mention that and how they've helped me, with this loss of 15 pounds. But I have no nutrition program to sell you. I am not a dietitian. I am not a nutrition guy. So I'm just going to explain this because I think it's pretty cool. I have something else written here. It says, I am a dog health influencer. There are certain things you can say as a health influencer where you'll be loved from both sides no matter what. And because it's good advice. Like, this is the other thing I have written here. Find good, long-lasting, sustainable habits that you can do for the rest of your life. That is the most optimal and safest way to lose weight. I agree with that. However, it's not necessarily for me. And I don't really know why. I can try and kind of theorize as to why, but I don't have the time to kind of explain that. So please follow that advice and take my advice with a grain of salt. So first, I want to explain my foundations, what I had behind me or within me before I started this process. I've only really cared about strength and power for the better part of a decade. So when I decided to do this, I got home from Ireland and the UK, where I didn't even think about training. I was there for 3 weeks. And, the only training I did was in a pub, bro. I had anywhere from 3 to 11 Guinnesses and 3 to 11 hand-rolled cigarettes per night. And I was A-okay with that. I got home. I went to my, my parents where I grew up, but I went to my parents' house. And I went training, and the first day back, I power snatched 105 kilos, which is like 230-ish in pounds. And I power clean and jerked 300 pounds, 137 kilos. I back squatted 405. I think I split jerked 160. I don't know what that is in pounds. But needless to say, like without much training, without any training, I could still lift some pretty serious weights. But because I was able to sustain this, constant ability to lift pretty decent weights, I also sustained anywhere from what I would guess 18% body fat, maybe 17 on the low end, all the way up to like 25% body fat. And if I didn't train as hard as I did or do, that would be much higher. And I didn't realize that it was that bad until I started this process again. So typically I would walk around at 235 pounds to 245 pounds body weight at the way heaviest, which is like 111 kilos, all the way down to like 104, maybe 105 kilos. Okay. I'm 6'4". I have a 6'7" wingspan. So that's my foundation. And what's important to understand is as I get into the next step of this, which is the psychological aspect, which is by far The most important thing I'm about to tell you is the psychological part of me losing weight. It's important to understand those foundations. So, psychologically speaking, what did I do? I tricked my brain on a consistent basis into forming habits that like really, really made a difference. Firstly, I kind of kept maybe telling myself internally, or just like, I felt as though I needed to say that food was not important to my happiness. The act of eating was not important to my happiness. And I feel like that's a bad thing to say in today's day and age. Very serious eating disorders occur, with thought processes like this. But for me, it's like I was, I pull up YouTube and I want something to eat. And I might not have even like really needed the food, but it was part of my happiness. My vice was doing stuff like that all the time. And the way that I saw it was like, it doesn't really matter. I'm lifting these weights. Like it's not that important. And so what I had to do initially, and I think this is still a very tricky thing, is to say to myself, like, food is not making you as happy as you think it is. So that was a very important one. Secondly, and I think this is the most important thing, losing weight is my Super Bowl. Training is not. That right there is so fundamentally different than anything I've ever thought before. And a lot of people online want to optimize so many different things. And a lot of people probably could and should. So if you're not very experienced in the weight room, get in the weight room and grow muscle. And then get your nutrition under control. So maybe you can gain muscle and lose body fat. For someone like me to go in and gain muscle and strength after a decade of just pursuing strength and muscle and power, and then also lose a bunch of body fat through ways that are very nominally different, it just didn't seem realistic of a way to approach this. So what I did was, and what I'm still doing, and having a fucking blast doing it. This has been so fun for me. I care about the calories that I take in, the amount of protein that I take in, and that's pretty much it. I go to the gym every day and I just kind of work hard in some sets, and then I get the fuck out of the gym. Okay? That is a massive psychological change for me, and it might help you as well. Maybe you are so focused on the gym that you can just take a little bit of that focus away, right? Trying harder than last time, like, Greg always says, why don't you try harder than last time on the calories that you eat, or focusing on nutrition, or, single modality things that really make a difference in losing weight, which I'm going to talk about in the future. Maybe you focus on those things harder than last time. Okay, so next, let's talk training. Guys, like today, I said to myself, I want to work on my traps and my shoulders. So I did hang power cleans with straps, which is one of my favorite movements to develop the traps. I just do a bunch of sets of that. And then I'll work up to maybe a heavy single. I'll drop some weight and do a couple sets of 5, maybe up to 10 reps. My traps feel smoked after that. Then I went on a machine. I did machine shoulder press for like 4 or 5 sets of 10, and then a couple sets of 20, and then one big drop set after that. Then I did lateral raises, 4 or 5 sets of 10, again, a couple sets of 20, just blasting my shoulders. I felt like, wow, that was a good workout. Then I just go home. That to me is like, that's out of this world, like not like training that loosely, not really caring that much. But that's what it took for me to lose 15 pounds. And you might think like, oh my God, you're probably losing so much muscle. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I'm definitely losing strength because I'm really trying to stay away from systemic fatigue, which is another part of training that I'm going to talk to you guys about. But yeah, it's that. Like tomorrow, one of the things that I really want to do is start my workout with pull-ups and just do a bunch of them. Then I'll go and do lat pull downs to really blow my lats up even more. Then I'll do machine row as hard as I can. Really low systemic fatigue, just nailing it. You guys, this is just a bro split, okay? And then when I want to pursue some sort of systemic fatigue, this is important because I don't avoid it completely. And when I say systemic fatigue, I just mean strength training. Okay. So I stay away from machines and those things when I'm going at it. Okay. So for the most part, let me summarize. Staying away from systemic fatigue, training like a bodybuilder or a bro, just pick two muscles or whatever and just blast them in and out of the gym. Not really not really trying to kill yourself in the gym, just doing that. Once, maybe twice a week, I find a gym partner. There's a guy at this new gym that I go to who's super strong, super athletic, and we push each other. Usually in the squats, could be the back squat, could be the front squat. Sometimes it's like bench press, sometimes it's deadlift. Okay, so that's like some percentage of my training. We got that. That's the gym stuff. I hope that one kind of sunk in. My mindset, psychologically, again, in the gym, it's much more relaxed than I've ever thought before. Okay, that's the most important thing to understand. The big thing as far as training goes is walking. Okay, and this is something that's popularized a lot lately, but I am 10,000 steps minimum. So I get home from the gym. I have 2 scoops of transparent Labs whey protein with a full water bottle like this. I absolutely smash that. And then I go walk. And usually I can get anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 steps. My favorite thing to do is call my loved ones. I call my dad and we talk about music. I call my sisters and we just talk about life. I call my friends that I haven't talked to in a while. It's literally the best way to walk, is calling and talking to someone. It's so goated. It's better than podcasts. It's better than music. That is my favorite thing to do. So yeah, I will do that. I'll get, 5,000, 10,000 steps. Then I'll work on a video. I'll work on programming. I'll work on all these other things, whatever. That's my training. And a lot of times at night, I'll just be like, I want to go for another walk. It'll be like 10 p.m. I'll go for another walk. And so lately I've been getting anywhere from 15,000 to 20,000 steps total. And it's not hard. I'm having fun doing it. I like it. It's time alone. It's just time just in my own head, and it feels great. I think this is what, runners feel when they go for runs. Like they love just fucking off into their own mind. And I do that just without picking up my feet. So now I want to talk about nutrition, and this is the big one. And this is, I think, where a lot of people are going to say, yeah, this is up. So I don't eat in the morning. I just drink, I drink one of these all the way. Then I will have 2 scoops of Transparent Labs pre-workout. I'll go to the gym. I'll come back from the gym and then I'll have, the Transparent Labs shake. And then I'll go on a walk. And then I won't eat until nighttime. And when I eat at nighttime, it's usually going to be here's an example, gluten-free tortilla with a little bit of cheese and a ton of chicken on it. Okay. Or I'll just have ground beef, and a ton of vegetables. I like to eat pickles. I like to eat things that are just going to fill me up, and I just do it as fast as I can. It's like, I am ravenous. I'm fucking starving. I'm hungry. And I just try to curb that hunger as fast as I can with protein and then other shit that is not caloric. And I feel like that, that is what a lot of people say to do. High volume food that isn't caloric. But again, I'm just avoiding eating. I'm just avoiding it. It's like, that's the game I'm playing. That's my workout of the day. And so then, when I start to feel like, okay, now I can really go binge, I can just I've already consumed near 1,200 calories to 1,300, 1,400 in one meal. Then I just go oh shit, this is it. You're going to take a box of crackers and just eat the entire thing. So what I do is I go on another walk usually, or I use some sort of supplementation, and the main one is nicotine. Don't do nicotine, period. Don't do nicotine, okay? So it's either a Zyn pouch or a hand-rolled cigarette. That usually curbs my hunger, or I go for a walk. When I said I'm a dog shit health influencer, I meant it. Okay. But my reasoning for this is like, I want to be able to treat myself without food, without calories. Sometimes the treat for me is to go meet up with a buddy and have 1 or 2 beers. And what happens is like, like I just left the bar after having 2 beers, and it's like a Wednesday or whatever with my buddy. I feel really fulfilled socially, and then I can come home and it's like 11 o'clock. I just go, yeah, time for bed. Like the idea for me is just avoidance of food. And again, this sounds so disordered, this style of eating. But when I tell you I'm having a lot of fun doing it, I am having a lot of fun. And I think where this becomes unfun is if I want to train like a crazy person, like train really hard. Okay. And every session is really hard. I'm going to be just like, food, I need food. It's curbing food drive that is the key. And that's the game that I play day in and day out. Yeah, I'll have 1 or 2 hand rolled cigarettes because they last longer. They're more pure tobacco. It feels, it's almost like it's like a cigar in my mind. Like that's how I treat it. It's like a cigar. Okay. And again, cigarettes are a swear word. Don't do them. Don't do Zins. Don't do any of that shit. It's bad for you. It's bad for you. It's bad for you. But I use that as my vice rather than using an entire pint of ice cream. So, yes, I lost 15 pounds. You can see in my face how much water I've lost, and I feel I'm having fun. Like I'm having a good time, and I know it's not going to be sustainable. That's the thing. Okay, Zach, you're going to do this kind of Chad crash diet, and then it's going to come back, rush back into you, and it's going to be all for naught. If it does, I can do it again. You know what I mean? Like I am different from many people, and honestly, some of you guys might be agreeing with me, like nodding your head, like yeah, I can just do it again if I want. That's how I've always felt about strength training. I can go do this and be like, oh, but it's gonna fuck up your strength training. Cool, I'll just get strong again. Like that's my mindset in this thing, and I think a lot of people. Maybe it's not that they're not ready to hear that. It's just this like culture that we've grown is so scared of like doing things a little bit extremely. If I had to guess, by the way, I have another protein shake as well. So it's 60, then probably 60 to 80, maybe up to 100 in my meal, and then 60 again. So we're right around 200, and I don't care, okay? If I had to guess, calories ranging from like 1,600 a day to up to 2,200 at most. And sometimes even lower than that. Okay. And a lot of people are going to be like, that is terrible advice. And again, I told you from the beginning that that is terrible advice. My mindset is different. I'm having a good time. I'm already regretting pressing the send button here. I hope you guys took something out of this. I'm babbling now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I love you guys. Bye.